It's working already. I feel like a content locomotive. Thank you. So this will keep me awake, focused. Because with a murderer's identity on the loose, I need to be alert. Hey man, there's been another episode. The Widow? Yeah. Welcome back to Horrible, the show that's drug of choice is slasher. Episode 3 has arrived, and so it's time to deliver on some mediocre analysis. So sign here to receive this spoiler warning, and let's get ready to fix it up. Wait, no. Let's get ready to break it down! Episode 3 starts us off in a weird place as Superintendent Kashtinsky? Nope, gonna go with the Cash Man. Is with Dr. Israel, and she introduces him to a totally necessary new vice. Cocaine. But don't worry.
It's a veritable wonder drug, and it's totally natural and harmless.
I bet she wouldn't be saying that if she saw where this dude's family tree would inevitably end up. Rikers interrupts the pharmaceutical fund to inform the Cash Man about Enid's murder.
The widow?
Looks that way.
And speaking of disappointing descendants, fun little tie-in right here, our detective friend is actually the ancestor of Connor from season 3. Much love to longtime loyal viewer Chelsea for helping me realize that. They get into a heated discussion when Rikers accuses him of arresting the wrong man 12 years ago. At the crime scene, they're greeted with another beautiful poem written on some lovely old-timey paper.
It's the skin off her back.
Never mind. More like Enid Jank skinned. What? Thematically on-point stuff here as always, but I would be lying if I said I didn't want to see a bit more crushed Enid bits on screen.
I had crushed like a tin can.
Off to the Botticellis, where they convince Dr. Israel that Verde's wounds are self-inflicted.
I cannot believe she would do this to herself. A frenzy of religious guilt. We could barely stop her.
And they convince her to examine Verde to make sure there's been no, fraudulent activity on her V-card.
If she were not quite so pure.
It's all about purity, Charlie.
All as part of their plan to sell her off to the highest bidder.
Good luck with that.
So despite, or maybe due to, the seance working, Regina is now very anti-George.
That horrid man.
Who, by the way, is played by Tom Allison, Slashy Award winner for Funniest Moment. Sure, he may seem like he has some ulterior motives, but just listen to that silky smooth voice and that versatile vernacular.
Being in the presence of this spectral powerhouse is so intoxicating.
Rikers drops by on the hunt for hints, but doesn't seem to be picking up the one that Regina's throwing down.
Always so gallant.
Will they or won't they? But they do find a group photo of all of the widow's presumed targets taken a week before Margaret's murder. I do want to note that Venetia, the left-handed sister, is interestingly absent from this group photo. After a quick coked out combo with the Cash Man, Basil realizes that Eddie's MIA.
Eddie, get your lazy ass in here.
Where the fuck is he?
He's trying to leave town, but only for his plan to be foiled by, holy shit, it's director Adam McDonald! I love that he's credited as Goon. Great scene here as Basil goes full Sweeney Tyson on Eddie, cutting off a piece of his ear and then feeding it to Tom Brady. Flashback 12 years, we actually get to meet Margaret as she has a very information-filled conversation with Andrew May Sr. We learn that Margaret worked on the streets for Horatio, but now stays with the torturous Botticellis, and that she plans to blackmail Basil with the information of his poverty-stricken upbringing. Then at Daisy's funeral, Terrence and Andrew May Jr. are having a little chat, which mostly serves as a way to further suspicion on AMJ.
So I say let the streets run red with blood.
But, you know, I'm just not buying it.
I tell you, I reject it.
But I do find it fun that Rob Stewart and Steve Byers get to play another religious father-son duo like in season 1. The Cash Man's water skiing is interrupted by Rikers when he comes to show him the group photo and tell him that he heavily suspects George as he hasn't been back here actually since the murder of Margaret. And the Cash Man is very geeked out by this discovery.
You splendid, lovely young man.
But Eddie's actually the first one to arrive at the theater to confront George. After a quick back and forth, Eddie charges him only to get his ankles broken by the magic man.
Watch this move. Through his legs.
Oh, mercy.
And ends up tied up on the stage. He's found by Rikers, but then the widow shows up to induce some stage fright. Despite this being Eddie's character arc,
You may be an ox on the outside, but on the inside, you're a timid little rabbit.
and this scene later explaining this,
You didn't see Detective What's-His fuck run away from her.
He told me to get out.
I still find it ludicrous that he pulled a ludicrous.
Oh, bitch, get out the way. Roll out. Roll out. Roll out.
But it does set up this great fight/chase/fight scene, so fuck it. The stage and lights make for a great visual, and the chase scene is super well shot and shows off more of the awesome location. After going all hell in a cell on Rikers, the Widow surprisingly decides to spare him. I'd assume it's because he has nothing to do with Margaret's murder, and it shows that the Widow has like at least some kind of moral compass and is strictly here for vengeance. Basil berates and belittles Eddie until he finally stands up for himself and tries attempt number 2 at skipping town. You probably should have done that before you let him Van Gogh you and had you out here looking like Ray from Scary Movie. Riker stumbles into George's tent and onto a lot of incriminating items, most notably what appears to be a second Widow outfit. And the episode ends when the Widow continues to prove their wrestling fandom with this excellent Triple H impersonation. Now that's what I call a skull-crushing finale. Alright, and that was episode 3. I think this entry is aptly named. If the first 2 episodes gave this season legs, then this is definitely the backbone. It really solidified what we know so far and sets up what's to come. But there was a lot of suspicion thrown around, so let's go ahead and update our suspect list. A good amount was heaped onto George and by association Shanika, mostly from the second Widow outfit. I could be wrong here, but there is a quick shot where we get to see both of them back to back and the veil patterns look different. More importantly, it's honestly just a little too early in the season for this kind of reveal, so... Venetia's odds definitely have to increase a little bit given her absence from that group photo, but for me, Verde still sits comfortably atop the suspect list. We get confirmation that Margaret was in fact a working girl under Horatio, which lends to the theory that she would be Verde's mother. There was also this quick scene with the Botticellis that on the surface seems to just further their plans to auction off Verde, but what I saw was her get left alone and unaccounted for, now with plenty of opportunity to go sneak out and kill Eddie. But go ahead and let me know what you enjoyed from this episode, what clues you picked up on in your updated suspects list. And since you're already down there doing the dirty deed, why don't you just go ahead and indulge in the rest of the YouTube stuff? Or don't, it's cool, you know, either way, it's not like I'm gonna hammer you about it or anything. Please, no! And let's hope episode 4 keeps us high on that slasher supply. If not, that would be...
Do we have any more? Okay.